look at the positive. So go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
What do you think? What you see there?
Man, first of all, Grady Dick was a positive just because he got minutes and he got consistent run. Like,
Yeah.
this is going to be the next stage for the Raptors, maybe longer than this season, a couple of seasons, maybe longer. Who knows? We don't know
Yeah.
how long this rebuild will take, but you just want to have this, I would say, just approach to
Right.
development when it comes to Grady and to other guys to allow them to kind of flourish. And you saw a lot of teaching moments, right? He takes the charge, the foul call on James Harden.
Yeah. I
He made some
remember that.
nice
Yeah.
passes, that alley oop that he had, two alley oop
Exactly.
passes in the
Yeah.
game,
Yeah.
actually.
Set up
Um,
Boucher for one of those. Yeah. That was
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's unfortunate because the shot isn't falling, right? And
Right.
everybody's kind of waiting to see that shot fall. So I
Yeah.
get it from that perspective, but he's getting consistent run over the last couple of games. He's been getting consistent run. He's been a consistent part of the rotation. And
Yeah.
at this point, that's all you can ask for.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's what we have to accept, especially if you're watching the Raptors. You can't really think of it as, oh, okay, are we going to get a great game from this player and that player? Are we going to win a whole bunch of games? You have to be patient with the rebuild, and especially I think we're old enough to know that we back in those days, rebuild was actually a rebuild. Like, you wait 3 to 5 years
Yeah, you
before.
wait long.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And some fans are not as patient. They're expecting things like right away or the next game or the
Right.
next, week or whatever. So you have to really be patient. But yeah, no, I did like that one play, and I feel like they need to run it more often with it was like a curl action with Grady Dick where you're just coming off a screen and
Yeah.
he's taking it to the basket. And I like that, and I want to see him more in those types of plays where he can at least decide whether to take the shot, a mid range,
Yeah.
or maybe even set up a player
Hmm.
the way he did with Boucher, like you mentioned.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, that play was interesting, and I think like giving him as much downhill momentum is really helpful for getting his game going a little bit. Just the decision making is something that pops out to me initially when I see Grady, and
yeah,
I think you want to see more of that as he progresses his game. The shot will eventually come, man. Like,
of course.
I
Yeah,
know it's hard to keep saying that because people are just like, oh man, like it's been a whole season where,
yeah, yeah. Where
but
is it? Yeah,
I do think the shot will eventually come, and he has to kind of get into rhythm. I think these type of moments, like getting consistent run,
yeah,
is going to help him a lot to build the confidence to not only like take a shot, but not have to worry about making that shot.
of
You're
course.
not you're
Yeah,
not like focused on shit. I have to make this, or I'm going to get subbed out of a game. You have
that's
you
true.
have time to be able
Yeah,
to say, all right, I missed this, I can hit the next one.
yeah. No, that's true. And the thing that we have to also remember as Raptors fans too is that he's only 19, right? He turned 20. Sorry, he turned 20, right?
Yeah, I think he turned 20.
He's he's still young. Like
Yeah.
he's allowed a couple
Oh yeah.
seasons, I think, to at least try to figure out where he stands with the team and the direction they're going. Because I don't think anybody knows what the answer is to that either. Like,
Right. No.
what's the makeup going to look like by the end of it?
You don't know. Yeah, and I
Yeah,
mean, in this next couple of weeks, it might even be even different. Way more different
exactly,
than what it is. Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about, or did you have another positive?
The other positive I would say is just RJ. I think
Yeah,
another 20+ point game for him. He was
yeah,
creating a lot too. He could have had like 8 or 9 assists tonight if guys were
right,
just hitting shots.
yeah.
And yeah, that's probably what I'm going to talk about in the film room. But yeah,
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
definitely.
No,
Yeah.
that's what I noticed too. I was literally going to just bring that up. RJ Barrett, and I've been saying this since he joined the Raptors. His aggressiveness, his decisiveness,
Hmm.
um, his willingness to attack, right, and those
Right.
kinds of things that are, it's good to see because, to counter to what we've seen in the past, guys hesitating, not sure what they're trying to do,
Right.
how to get to the basket or what to do when they finally get there.
Sure.
So that's kind of nice to see. I would have liked to see more of Barnes being aggressive as well. I know
Hmm.
they're double teaming him. They're trying to get the ball out of their hands, and that's something they're doing more of, right?
Yeah.
The other teams are focusing in on that because he's a focal point, right? So
Yeah.
it's hard to kind of judge him based on like individual performances right now because of what he's seeing. But he still played pretty well. Like, he played
Yeah.
decent. Like, he had 23 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists.
Yeah.
So he had a steal. So I'm okay with him having these games to kind of figure out what's happening. But
I think he's a guy that really needs Jakob too.
yeah,
And like the screens, just being able to get downhill, using those there, like a lot of the pick and roll stuff that they were running initially today with Scotty, he
Yeah.
settled into a couple of mid-range jumpers, and it was just because like there wasn't someone there to level his
Yeah.
defender and
No,
like
that's
set a
true.
really
Yeah,
hard screen to
that's
get
true.
downhill. The one time he did was like he was way out,
Yeah.
and he got a screen and like got downhill, got the dunk.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so I think there's just you need some types of players specifically around Scotty. That's neither a good or bad thing. Like certain players just need certain things. Like
Yeah.
Luca needs a guy like Derek Lively. You know what
Yeah.
I
No,
mean?
sure. Of course. Yeah.
And so with Scotty, I think it's about finding that, and that's going to help his
Right.
aggressiveness a lot too.
Right. Yeah. And this is a tough game in general.
Hmm.
But even though they were missing, the Clippers were missing Zubac.
Yeah.
They still had. Like, I'm just looking at the stats here. Like just the balanced attack. Like it's hard to defend
Oh
when you
yeah.
have so many guys that are doing so many good things for the team and can fill all the holes that they might have offensively at least, right?
Right.
But what would you see in terms of what the Raptors might need to work on besides what the obvious in terms of missing their starters or missing players? What do you think they need to do as a team, just generally going forward?
I think probably just defensively communicating. There were certain coverages. Like there was a moment during the game where Dennis Schroeder and Chris Boucher messed up a pick and roll coverage, and then I think Daniel Tice missed the dunk, and they
Yeah,
were too busy bickering about, oh, you should have done this, you should have done that, to realize that he even
yeah.
missed the dunk.
No, I
And so
saw
it's
that.
just the communication, right? Being able
Yeah,
to communicate out the coverages, be on the same page. And that's
right.
sort of weird. That's strange to do right now because one, you don't know who's going to be on the team and who isn't going to be on the team. And
Yeah,
two, there's just injuries that are playing a factor into that. There's so much more, but I think the defensive communication is a big part. You have
yeah,
to. The second half they picked up on the defensive end. They were locking in a little bit more, and
right.
you need that through a whole game. So yeah,
No,
that's
that's
probably
true.
what I would bring up.
No, that's true. No, yeah, that is that, and I've seen like it happened a lot with. I saw another instance where I think it was Bruce Brown didn't drop down, and there was an opportunity for him to pick up the defender that was going to the basket,
Yeah.
and it just wasn't happening. So